Hey everyone, how's it going? I am Xeracon and I am back once again. So I was on YouTube the other day, well, not the other day, last week actually, watching some God of War 3 videos and I thought, you know what? I haven't seen Clash of the Titans in a long time. I'm in the mood to watch it. While I was skipping through the previews and trailers on the DVD, I had an additional thought. Hey, this could be my next What's It Good video. And the rest is history, as they say. Now, I enjoyed the movie when I saw it. I saw it in theaters when it came out. I watched it on DVD when it came out. And it should still be good, right? Well, let's find out. So, the intro is pretty decent and establishes the tone and world elements of the film. A quick pause, by the way, though. I will try not to make any criticisms towards the accuracy of the film's usage of Greek mythology. While I have a little bit of knowledge beyond Disney's Hercules and God of War, I am by no means an expert. There are more informed and knowledgeable people out there who can point this stuff out. In addition, I have not seen the original Clash of the Titans, so I cannot and will not be making any comparisons between the two, although I do know that the owl is a reference to it. With that disclaimer out of the way, though, let's continue. The design of Olympus was really well done. I like how all the gods can view the world in their pseudo holographic tabletop board thingy. The heavenly lighting also made them seem more otherworldly. However, I think there was a bit too much lens glare going on. And actually, I think pretty much all of the sets and locations were well designed. Argus looked pretty good and looked like an ancient city with its seaport, palace, and slums. The lair of the sisters and the lair of Calabas gave me theater stage impressions, and I mean that in a very good way. Stage productions have to do so much with so little in a 2.5D setting. The film took that concept and made it three-dimensional. At the sisters' lair, the audience can see all around their dwelling, and it allows us to have different vantage points of the characters. While they are minimalistic to a degree, it does add a layer of charm and appeal. Medusa's temple, while not as noteworthy as the others, still looked nice even with the increased usage of CGI. Let's look at some of the plot points now. At the beginning of the film, when Perseus says that they should turn the boat around and his father tells him not to do anything, I couldn't help but ask why. Did he think that by not moving they would be ignored, or was he just being nosy, condemning his family to death? I'm hoping it's the former because if it is the latter, the guy's a jerk for prioritizing curiosity over safety. How did everyone know that Perseus was a demigod and Zeus' son at that? I mean, sure, it makes sense that Io knew since she was watching over him since birth and everything, but everyone else, I'm guessing that Hades might have had a guess that he was one when he wasn't absorbed in his underworld vortex, but there are other demigods. Heck, he could have been any of the gods' kid. And how did the humans know? He was just a guy at the wrong place at the wrong time. There's no reason why they would know that he was one. And also, how did the Jinn know that Perseus was going to be where he was and who he was? Why does everything fall on his shoulders? Why does everyone know who he is? I mean, seriously, don't they have any other demigods they can ask for help or anything like that? The fighting lesson was also absurd, and it was so absurd to the point that it falls into the category of main protagonist wins because he or she is the main protagonist, and so they automatically win their first fight against a seasoned veteran because they are the chosen one and do not need any more lessons. Seriously, how long was this scene? 5 minutes? That's all the training it takes to be able to stand up to a soldier, let alone a monster. Like the Kraken, whom they're going to fight. Not to mention Medusa, you know. I guess they let anyone join the military. But seriously though, this is a trope that is horrible at establishing a character's evolving combat prowess. Even though Perseus might be physically stronger and have better reflexes, he has zero experience. There's no reason why he should have bested Draco in that duel other than the plot said so in order to show how cool and powerful he is. I can say the fight scenes, though, throughout the movie are, for the most part, pretty good. They definitely were good blockbuster quality scenes. The fight with Calabas, on the other hand, wasn't really satisfying, though, for a couple of reasons. First, it felt more like a video game boss fight where you have to guess the boss's weak point. Hint, he's weak to holy weapons. Second, it felt more like a poor plot reason for Perseus to use the Olympian sword, and I'll get back to that point. Third, While I understand that Calabas was hunting him, I didn't feel any satisfaction with his defeat. Don't get me wrong, the guy had to be stopped, but it felt rushed. Back to the second point, though, and this is very important for a couple things. Why did Perseus use the sword? The entire movie he's been anti-god, even to the point where his life was on the line because he was poisoned and he wouldn't pray to Zeus. Now he decides to be the demigod he was meant to be. You could argue that was because of Io's death, but let's stop back. How long has he known her? A week or so? Is that really enough time to say, the anger I felt at losing my family, who I've known my entire life, is suddenly replaced with romantic feelings? Heck, you could say it was for survival, but he didn't rely on it at any other time during the film where it would have been useful. In fact, even more useful for his survival. In addition, he goes off to confront Hades with his newly cherished sword and a Pegasus, both gifts from Olympus. He could have discarded the sword and been disgusted at what he had just done, which was using an Olympian sword to kill Calabas. In the first episode of Batman Beyond, an old Bruce Wayne quits being Batman because he was cornered into using a gun, or rather aiming a gun, at someone to save himself. That's how bad he felt at breaking his one rule. Well, I mean, his rule was about, killing, but he didn't want to use guns. Heck, in the same universe during Justice League Unlimited, he was possessed by Deadman and shot Devil Ray, who died as a result of that. After realizing what had happened, he was disgusted at what he had done, even though what he had just done weren't his actions. While not on the same level of disgust, Obi-Wan showed contempt when he had relied on a blaster to kill Grievous. None of these emotions were conveyed at all with Perseus. It was just a, I'm ready to level up now moment. As far as the showdown with Hades, it was really anticlimactic, to say the least. Perseus suddenly knows how to summon lightning and hurls the sword at Hades, one-shotting him and saving the day. And while I understand that the Kraken is the main threat of the film, and it does get the proper amount of attention it deserves, Hades felt like an afterthought, just like the Calabas fight. Now let's talk about some good stuff, though. The score for this movie was great. I really enjoyed it and even remembered some of the themes and motifs years later after my last viewing. Honestly, I'd recommend giving it a listen if you have the time. The acting for the entire cast feels genuine and great. I think that the acting for Hades, though, would probably be my favorite. The portrayal and execution were well done. The three sisters were very nice as well. Going back to my theater comment regarding their lair, there's another element I want to add. Their erratic behavior reminded me of the three witches from Macbeth, who were based on Greek mythology. Now, while the acting is great, the characters for the ragtag group of soldiers were meh. Each one only had one trait, so there was no reason to get attached to them or mourn their deaths. There was the young rookie, his older brother, the jokester, and the always stern commander. They had no other personalities besides their tropes, which, Another thing I did like, though, was the cult subplot. It was pretty good how natural it flowed in the movie. You have the leader telling everyone to repent, to hearing about Hades' deal and deciding to build his following, to serving up Andromeda to the Kraken. I enjoyed it. So, all in all, was it good? It's a flawed movie, that's for sure. The plot and characterization could have been better, but the designs, acting, and battle sequences helped to keep it from failing completely. As a mindless summer blockbuster, you could do worse. Just don't expect it to be a modern Ben-Hur. But that's just my thought. Let me know what you think of this movie in the comments below. Also, feel free to follow me on Twitter to get information on my newest videos, and feel free to subscribe as well. So until next time, everyone, I am iamxeracon signing off. Have a good one.